fragile, mediocre, incapable, embarrassment. Well, that's what they used to call Audi until today. When you imagine a car with a logo of 4 rings, you think of a luxurious sports sedan like the A4 or a supercar like the R8. But up until the 1970s, this manufacturer had accumulated countless failures in their offices. Their rivals, BMW, Mercedes, and Porsche, dominated the world's biggest factories. But Audi, timid and conservative, didn't step into the ring, staying in the stands like a cowardly spectator. But in that context, a young prodigy grew tired of just watching and admiring the competition. He wanted to put the factory on the path of conflict for the first time in history and knock them down. To do so, he needed to convince Audi's bosses and enter the most deadly and crazy category in motorsport, Group B in the World Rally Championship. But he failed, convincing only one person to join him in this revolution. And that chaos in the form of a car would not only transform the brand, but also redefine motorsport forever. What made the Quattro different? What were the aerodynamic and engineering elements behind this project, the hidden secrets, and how did they suddenly create something capable of lifting the 4 rings out of mediocrity and bringing them the reputation they enjoy today? This is not just the story of any Audi. It's the story of a car born for the mortal duels of rally racing, born to take the German factory to the top of world motorsport. Today, the revolutionary Audi Quattro. Prologue. The 1970s were a whirlwind of change due to intense political movements around the world. In the United States, the Vietnam War, which deeply affected them, was coming to an end, leaving behind a legacy of protests and a divided society. The Watergate scandal in 1974 culminated in the resignation of President Richard Nixon, shaking public trust in the US government. In Europe, the Cold War continued to shape international policies. Economically, the 1970s were a roller coaster of chaos. In the US and Europe, unemployment rose, and the economic optimism of the 1960s gave way to a climate of uncertainty. Culturally, the period is remembered for 2 words: innovation and rebellion. Countercultural movements gained strength worldwide, challenging social norms and promoting radical changes in various conflicts. Music was experiencing a golden age with the rise of punk rock, disco music, and the consolidation of rock as a global phenomenon. Bands like the Bee Gees and Led Zeppelin influenced millions of young people across the globe. The automotive industry in the 1970s reflected the changes and challenges of the time. The 1973 oil crisis, caused by the Arab countries' embargo, led to an energy crisis that affected economies worldwide. Globally, rising oil prices drove demand for more fuel-efficient cars. Compact and economical models gained popularity, while large American cars saw a decline in sales. In Latin America, the decade was marked by the expansion of the automotive sector. Manufacturers like Volkswagen, Ford, and General Motors established factories in various countries, encouraged by governments that saw the automotive industry as a driver of economic development. And in Germany, home to today's protagonist? Well, there, firmly established as one of the world's leading car manufacturing hubs, its automakers watched their influence expand globally. Companies like Volkswagen, BMW, and Mercedes-Benz not only led the European market, but also established themselves firmly in international markets. With that, motorsport, especially rally racing, experienced significant growth in Germany and around the world. Rallying, characterized by competitions on challenging terrains and under various weather conditions, attracted an enthusiastic and passionate audience, largely due to its high level of danger. Observing this new fever in motorsport, a completely secondary manufacturer in the national market decided to take a different risk to gain the recognition it so desperately desired. One of Audi's employees had a silver bullet, aiming to finally enter the automotive market. The birth of a visionary. In the city of Ingolstadt, Germany in the 1960s, young Jörg Bensinger grew up amidst the automotive fervor that defined the region. The son of a mechanical engineer and a teacher, Jörg was a curious boy, always intrigued by how machines worked. His childhood was marked by frequent visits to his father's workshop, where engines and gears became his favorite toys. Jörg, with bright, enthusiastic eyes, spent hours watching his father work on engines. By the age of 8, he was already helping to adjust parts and understand the basic principles of mechanics. His passion for cars wasn't limited to theory. Jörg loved to build and dismantle bicycles, dreaming of the day he would do the same with a real car. At the age of 12, a transformative experience shaped his future. On a summer afternoon, he and his father attended a local car race. The roar of engines and the speed impacted the young boy like never before. That day, the child decided his destiny was to create the fastest and most innovative cars in the world. Determined to follow his passion, Jörg entered the Munich Institute of Technology at 18, where he studied mechanical engineering. With exceptional talent and relentless dedication, he graduated with honors, standing out as one of the best in his class. In 1975, just a year after his graduation, Jörg was hired by Audi as a junior engineer. His creativity and technical skill quickly drew attention, and he was promoted to senior engineer within a few years at the company. But not everything was perfect for the German. He often felt constrained by the company's conservative approach to car design and mechanics. Audi's most well-known cars at the time were the Audi 50, the Audi 100, and the most popular of all, the Audi 80, launched in 1972. The compact sedan Audi 80 quickly gained popularity due to its efficiency and reliability. It was available with a variety of 4-cylinder engines, including a 1.3-liter version producing 55 horsepower and a 1.6-liter version with 100 horsepower. The Audi 80 was known for its low fuel consumption and aerodynamic design. It also featured McPherson front suspension and front-wheel drive, providing a smooth and secure driving experience. The car set new standards for the Audi brand, helping to solidify its reputation as a manufacturer of high-quality, high-performance vehicles. But with the rise of rally racing, Jörg wanted to change the company's direction and get Audi involved in the racing scene. He wanted to create something that wouldn't just compete, but would dominate the category. Even though this ambition stirred problems within the company, something else left everyone skeptical about Jörg's project. He wanted to develop a car with an all-wheel drive system for rallying. Today it's common, but back then, this drivetrain was mostly seen in heavy vehicles like trucks and military vehicles. The engineer believed that an all-wheel drive system could offer better traction and handling, especially on the varied and treacherous surfaces of rally circuits, such as mud, gravel, and snow. His ideas and convictions were innovative and based on solid reasoning, but Audi's executives didn't see it that way. When it came time to approve the project, they almost entirely rejected it, clinging to their conservative approach. Despite lacking company support, Jörg began working on the development and creation of a prototype in his spare time. However, being on his own meant he faced many difficulties, ranging from sourcing the right components to solving technical problems as the prototype evolved. In the end, his prototype became an Audi 80 with an adapted all-wheel drive system. It wasn't exactly what he envisioned, but it was something that could demonstrate the car's potential. When Jörg presented his results to the Audi board of directors, his work was met with distrust. Everyone doubted that an all-wheel drive system would bring any benefits to the world of rally racing. Furthermore, the company was very concerned about the high costs of the project. As everyone began to vote against it, Jörg's hope was fading, until one person, one of the most important figures in the room, went against all of his colleagues. That person was Ferdinand Piëch, Audi's head of technical development at the time, and the grandson of the founder of Porsche. Piëch saw potential in the idea. Known for his visionary thinking and willingness to take risks, he decided to back Benzinger's project. Despite being the grandson of Porsche's founder, Ferdinand chose to develop his career at Audi, seeking new challenges and opportunities. He wanted to prove his worth independently of his family name and sought the freedom to experiment and innovate in his own way. Ferdinand played a crucial role in the creation of the Porsche 917, one of the most iconic and successful race cars in motorsport history. In the mid-1960s, Piëch took charge of leading Porsche's development team with the ambitious goal of winning the 24 Hours of Le Mans, and he succeeded with one of the most legendary models in the World Endurance Championship. Now Piëch and Jörg had a small team of engineers who began developing a car for Audi's rally racing ambitions. In addition to the challenge of perfecting the all-wheel drive system, they also needed to make it reliable and easy to handle in the most demanding rally conditions. It took months of hard work, long hours, and a race against time to get the Audi Quattro ready for its debut at the 1980 Geneva Motor Show. From prototype to glorious car. The Audi Quattro was finally ready for its first real test. The company decided to take the project to a test track to see how the car would perform under adverse conditions. These conditions included slippery surfaces, gravel roads, and extremely tight corners. And who was behind the wheel? Jörg Bensinger himself. He wanted to fully understand how the Quattro responded in terms of its all-wheel drive capabilities. After an exhausting day of testing, the prototype showed great promise, but there were still many adjustments to be made once they returned to the factory in Bavaria. One of the main issues was the central differential, which wasn't distributing power correctly, sending too much torque to the rear wheels. This resulted in oversteer in the corners, compromising vehicle stability and leading to inconsistent lap times. Another big problem was turbo lag. The delay in the turbo's response affected acceleration, especially when exiting corners. The engineering team determined that the solution would be to adjust the wastegate valve and reprogram the fuel injection system to improve the turbo's response and provide more immediate acceleration. Jörg and Piek identified everything that needed to be corrected, and the following days were spent on fine-tuning, testing, and more fine-tuning. This became their routine during the early days of creating the Quattro, and each day they got closer to perfection. When it was unveiled in 1980 at Geneva, some critics saw the car as a breakthrough, while many others still doubted the effectiveness of all-wheel drive in a rally car. Even though thousands of tests had been run, none had been done on a real track, in competition. Yet Jörg and Piek were absolutely convinced that the Quattro's potential would prove itself there. The real challenge came when the Audi Quattro entered the World Rally Championship, WRC, in 1981, and it made its debut in extremely competitive fashion. The final test came when the Audi Quattro made its debut in the 1981 World Rally Championship. The Quattro marked its first victory at the Rally Sweden with Hannu Mikkola behind the wheel, giving Audi an optimistic outlook for the future. However, the most significant milestone came the following year in 1982. In just its second season in the WRC, Audi did what many thought was impossible. It won the Constructors' Championship with 7 victories in 12 events. This was an astounding achievement for a team that was essentially a newcomer to the rally scene. It also made history by contributing to the first ever victory by a female driver in the WRC, as Michèle Mouton drove the Quattro to several wins, solidifying its legacy. In the transition from Group 4 to Group B in rally racing between 1981 and 1982, the WRC introduced new regulations that allowed manufacturers greater freedom in engineering and design, encouraging technological innovation. The Group B regulations required only 200 production units for homologation, which allowed manufacturers like Audi to experiment with advanced technologies without having to produce cars in large numbers. This shift in regulations was a boon for Audi. The Audi Quattro capitalized on the new rules, which allowed for lighter materials, more powerful engines, and far fewer restrictions. It became one of the most sophisticated rally cars in the world, equipped with the best technologies of the time. Audi's rivals, such as Lancia and Ford, were struggling to keep up with the Quattro's advancements. Though Lancia would win the constructors' title in 1983 with the 037, Audi remained dominant. Hannu Mikkola won the Drivers' Championship that year, and despite mechanical setbacks, the Quattro's all-wheel drive system was proving itself on the world stage. By 1984, Audi took back the Constructors' Championship as well as the Drivers' title, with Stig Blomqvist behind the wheel. The newly developed Audi Quattro S1, an evolution of the original model, had a lighter aluminum body and continued to refine the groundbreaking all-wheel drive system. The Quattro's dominance was unmatched. Its turbocharged 5-cylinder engine, which initially produced 200 horsepower, was now pushing over 350 horsepower in its rally versions, thanks to constant engineering improvements. Combined with the all-wheel drive and lightweight chassis, the Quattro set new standards for performance in rally racing. Audi wasn't just competing, it was dominating the world of motorsport. In 1985, the introduction of the Audi Sport Quattro S1 E2 raised the bar even further. This version of the Quattro was a beast, with a 2.1-liter engine delivering a staggering 476 horsepower and capable of accelerating from 0 to 100 km/h in just 3 seconds. It was an engineering marvel, one of the fastest and most powerful rally cars of its era. Unfortunately, the Group B era was short-lived. In 1986, tragic accidents involving drivers and spectators led to the category's downfall. The death of Henri Toivonen and his co-driver Sergio Cresto during the Tour de Corse was the final blow. Driving a Lancia Delta S4, the pair lost control, their car plunging off a cliff and exploding upon impact, killing both instantly. That same year, Joaquim Santos, driving a Ford RS200, lost control and plowed into a crowd of spectators, resulting in the deaths of 3 people and injuring dozens more. These tragedies forced the FIA to ban Group B, ending one of the most exciting and dangerous periods in motorsport history. Despite the abrupt end of Group B, Audi's Quattro had already secured its place in racing legend. With 2 Constructors' Championships and 2 Drivers' titles, the Quattro had revolutionized rallying, introducing technology that would soon become the standard for performance cars worldwide. But Audi didn't stop there. After its rally successes, the Quattro went on to conquer other racing series, including Trans Am and IMSA in the United States. In 1988, Audi made its debut in Trans Am, where the Quattro dominated the competition. Hurley Haywood won the Drivers' Championship, and Audi claimed the Constructors' title as well. The Quattro continued its winning streak in the IMSA GTO series, with Audi securing numerous victories in 1989. Yet Audi's success with the Quattro didn't stop at the racetrack. The phrase "win on Sunday, sell on Monday" perfectly applied to the Quattro's impact. Audi's dealerships were flooded with demand for the street versions of the Quattro, transforming the brand from a conservative manufacturer into a performance icon. The original Audi Quattro, produced from 1980 to 1991, saw over 11,000 units built, an impressive number for a car with such cutting-edge technology and a higher price tag compared to its competitors. More than that, the Quattro's all-wheel drive system became a key selling point for the entire Audi lineup, helping boost sales across the board and cementing Audi's reputation as a leader in innovation and engineering. A lasting impact. The legacy of the Audi Quattro is undeniable. Beyond its rallying success, the Quattro project laid the foundation for Audi's future in both performance and technology. As other manufacturers scrambled to develop their own all-wheel drive systems, Audi was already years ahead. Models like the A4, A6, and Q7 SUV inherited much of the technology first pioneered in the Quattro, helping Audi expand its market presence globally. High-performance cars like the Audi RS2 and the Audi R8 also drew on the Quattro's legacy of blending performance with innovation, solidifying Audi as a dominant player in the high-performance luxury market. As Jürg Benzinger once said, "From the moment I got behind the wheel of the Audi Quattro, I knew I was driving a masterpiece of automotive engineering. The combination of raw power and unmatched precision redefined what's possible in a sports car." For Jürg, the success of the Audi Quattro was the realization of a childhood dream. Jürg Benzinger and Ferdinand Piëch, with their visionary leadership and relentless drive, didn't just create a car, they launched a revolution in automotive design and performance. The impact of the Audi Quattro stretched beyond the racetrack and the streets. The car became a cultural icon, appearing in movies, TV shows, and video games, making the 4 rings of Audi synonymous with cutting-edge engineering. Today, the story of the Audi Quattro remains a powerful reminder of how determination, vision, and innovation can transform an industry. Audi's leap from a fragile, mediocre brand to a global powerhouse is a testament to the genius of Jürg Benzinger and Ferdinand Piëch, and their creation, the Audi Quattro, will forever be remembered as the car that changed motorsport history. As the dust settled on the rally tracks, Audi's competitors began to take notice. The Quattro's legacy in motorsport left an indelible mark, pushing other manufacturers to innovate in ways they had never considered before. The stage was set for new rivalries, and the German automotive titans, Audi, BMW, and Mercedes, would soon face off in one of the fiercest battlegrounds in motorsport, the DTM, Deutsche Tourenwagen Masters. Audi's presence in the DTM was yet another chapter in the brand's transformation, as it took on BMW and Mercedes in an intense battle of technology, strategy, and raw speed. So, sit back and stay tuned for more. If you liked the video, consider becoming a channel member. It helps us create even better documentaries for you.